Hey YouTube, I have a duel video here for you guys of Dark World versus Dark Worlds, and I want to commentate this video because you can have the perfect Dark World hand and yet still lose. As you can see, my opponent has a great, amazing hand, and my hand is actually incredibly terrible. So I can't. I didn't play Dark World Dealings because you don't want to usually go for that first turn. Because if I did go for Dark World Dealings, he could have dropped Grafa and then took my Morphin Jar and then draw it'd have been bad for me, so I just didn't do that. I didn't expect him to play Dark World, so I just set Morphin Jar and my turn. Hopefully he didn't black rules me or anything. If somebody would have black rules me at this moment, I pretty much kind of scoop. But I underestimated him, and it actually paid out for me. So he draws and starts out his duel with a great hand. He plays his gates, he MSTs my gates, and then he sets his Dark Smog because he's not gonna drag down me, because if he does drag down me, I'm drawing 2 more cards. I think he figured out I'm playing Dark Worlds as well, I think. So luckily I topped the card I was hoping. I only run two sacrifice monsters, well 5 technically if you count the Grafas, but I only want 1 gold and 1 silver, and I was like, I hope I draw one of those so I can sacrifice that Morphin Jar because I don't want it to be flipped, because if he flips it, it's pretty much gonna be game. So I draw the gold, and yeah, I go ahead and tribute it, and I drag down him. Just YOLO, I hit his drag down. I was like, okay, great, I get to get my +2, so I'll kind of even out the field a little bit. I go straight for the alert because I'm not playing my dealings. I do not play my Dark World dealings at all. I'm not. So I'm gonna go for the attack. If he's gonna activate Smog. He doesn't activate Smog to banish my cards yet, so I guess he doesn't really care about popping my card. And even if he did, I can always just gateway and get back my gold and attack him with it. So he takes at 26. I'm gonna set Ghosts back up because there's nothing I can really do. So he smogs my brow at the last minute. This gets his brow, gets another draw. Now he plays Dark Scheme. Dark Scheme is alright, but however, it depends on what kind of Dark World deck you're playing. Dark Worlds have amazing setup. If you actually sit down and read the cards in a structure deck, the Dark Worlds have potential to have hand correction, hand destruction, and also a deck out version. Like this card also is a deck out card. It's like a trap card that makes your opponent go -1 in hand, and if they don't do that, they discard 2 and +2. You discard 2 and +2. So sometimes the opponent won't discard a card to actually, let the effect go to. Sometimes they want the hand recycle, but then if they do choose that option, you're gonna get both your Dark World monsters effect and draw 2 more cards. And if you have a Snow or something, you're gonna, or Snow or a Brow, you're gonna go even more plus. So this card is pretty good, but it's just terrible in the rare match. So he gets Mind Crush, and he goes straight for the gates and drops his Grafa to pop my back row, which is a dealings. I didn't care at all. He plays base, bounce back to Grafa, and attacks and kills my gold. I take the 400. I'm like, okay, I pretty much lost at this moment. This guy's hand is amazing. So I draw my turn to tribute. I'm gonna set it. Now the Trenchu, I knew I had to time it well. I knew he was kind of a noob or something. I don't know what he was. He just has so much of an advantage that I think he's gonna overstep his boundaries. So he tries to target my gold. This is a prime time in the game as well. I just learned something new. He targets my gold with Dark Smog, and I go and I chain Gateway to the Dark World to special summon it. However, it doesn't matter because he's still going to get the discard from Dark Smog. And I never knew that. That's actually pretty broken. So he drops Brow, and he gets another Dark Smog, and he activates his gates, banishes that Brow, drops base, special summons the base, and then he wants to go ham. He wants to defeat me at this moment, so he summons Fabled Raven. Now I could have let that one through and let him use his gold from his hand and then torrential everything. However, I just thought he was just gonna attack me, so I just torrential it right there. Get rid of it. This play was a misplay in his part. I Dark World Lightning his Dark Smog, and he just let it go through. He could have just activated it, but yeah, I got to get my Snow. I drop my Snow, get Grafa, and I play dealings. I actually go YOLO because even if you were to have a card like Ceruli, let's go through all the Dark World monsters that have effects that if your opponent discards it by their card effect. If he has gold, I have no cards in the field to blow up. Silver, I don't have two cards in my hand, so its effect doesn't work at all. And snow, there's nothing really valuable in my graveyard anyways except for gold. So at this moment I was like, okay, dealings is perfectly fine for me to play in a mirror match of Dark Worlds. So I get my plus, uh I drop my Grapher. He drops a Dark Scheme. I'm not sure why he didn't drop his gold, but either way, Dark Scheme was gonna help him anyways. Gold in hand is pretty much gonna help him a lot more, and he also draws into a skill drain, which is gonna play a very decent factor later on in the game. So my Grapher decided to go pop his Dark Smog, and he's gonna chain it and banish that exact Grapher and drop his gold, and especially summon his gold. At this moment, I'm like, okay, I can't do anything. I could go into Zen mains, but as you can see in his hand, he has skill drain. I didn't know it, but Zen mains would have been a bad choice. So I was like, okay, at this moment, I made him go so negative in hand that I'm going to try to just beat him down with this acid golem. So I tour guide into the brow, and I go straight to the acid golem. I'm just gonna kill all his monsters. I felt like the only way he's gonna be able to stop this acid golem is by suiciding his Alpha and giving me the next attack. So he activates Gate. At this moment, I'm very confused. He could have just normal summoned and then bounced back for Grafa and just chilled and just take the one suicide. But he activates Gates for, I guess, greed. So he banishes, drops, and draws. So he gets a Foolish Burial, a Dark Bribe, a Skill Drain, and Mind Crush in hand. So since his Dark Bribe ends his turn. Okay, I have my Acid Golem. Of course, I'm gonna detach and hit him at 3k. I could have honestly killed him at this exact moment. I was just wary of what that trap was. I should have realized I could have killed him, but I didn't take the chance to. So I'm just gonna hit him with a 3k. I left him with 2,000 life points left. He draws his Rafa. So now he can activate his gauge, drop his Rafa, kill my Acid Golem. But then he draws Dark World Dealings. So apparently he probably ran out of monsters, or maybe he's running too much back row that's not really that useful for him to get good effects. So he plays Dealings against me as he draws from his Gates effect. And he gets a Dark Hole. This is a primitive part in the game as well. I'm gonna of course drop my Snow, and I'm gonna get my own Gates and I'm gonna target his Grapha because I don't want his Gates on the field. He has no more Dark Smogs. He has no way to banish my cards. So I get his Grapha, and immediately he dark holes it because of course he has no other play to really do. So he kills the Grapha with his Dark Hole. I'm like, okay, great. Now I draw a Dark Hole as well. Ironic. So I play my Gates to destroy his Gates, but he Dark Bribes it. So I draw another card. I'm like, okay, I'm really mad now. So at this moment, I set the MST because it's better to set the MST when we can banish, think he's gonna get a good playoff rather than play it right off the bat. So I let him go. I pass the turn. He gets a tour guide. Summons his tour guide, gets the effect, gets another tour guide. At this moment, I was thinking he would go for something like a Levier, get back one of his brows, and then special summon a Grapha, then hit me with 48. However, he has that skill drain face down, and he wants to, use it to his best advantage. So he's going to go ahead and make an Acid Golem and hit me with the 3k that I hit him with. So I chain the MST and I pop his back up because I know that's his only play at the moment. And I felt like, okay, let's just take advantage of this. This is his only play. I have Dark Hole in my hand. If I draw a monster, I can pretty much win this game right now. So I have Dark Hole in my hand. Popping the skill drain was very important at this point. As you can see, it is really very important. I actually top decked the Trance Archery, exactly 2,000 damage I needed. If he had skill drain, he could have stopped it, kind of, but he would have still died. I'm not to think about it. He would have still died, even if he activated skill drain or not. He would have still died. Anyways, so I have the Dark Hole. I play the Dark Hole. He holds that. I play the Trance. I activate Trance's effect to drop the Rafa to pop his gauge. Trance goes up to 23, but his effect makes him 500, so he's still 2k, and I have enough to kill him. And of course, he scoops. So as you can see, you can run a Dark World deck. You can start out with the most amazing hand, but it's definitely up to the better players who wins in Yu-Gi-Oh. Thank you for watching.